Shabbat Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us this truth. And Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect. Tabernacle of David, I'm the brother Yashuan. Back with a quick lesson, going into where this thing is going, all right? Because you can clearly see this nation against nation war being drummed up, all right? So first, this is Luke 12, Salakia, Luke, I'm at 21. Let me go to 12 real quick, if I can. Luke 12 and 51. All right, it reads, I'm going to just read it in this Berean, whatever it is. Do you think that I have come to bring peace to earth? No, I tell you, but division. From now on, 5 in one household will be divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son and son against father, mother against daughter, daughter against mother, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. Division is the order of the day. This is in red letters. This is Yahushua speaking, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, all right? No, I tell you, but rather division, all right? Now, who told him to bring division? The Most High told him to bring division, all right? He's doing the will of his Father. All right, so let's read Zechariah real quick, okay? Because here's where this thing is going. If I can get there. Zechariah 11, give me KJV. 11 and 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold. Wait, let's start at 4. Thus saith the Lord, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter. It's talking about Jake, that's talking about Israel. Whose possessors, who are our possessors, slay them, slay who? Us, and hold themselves, who's them? That's these devils, not guilty. All right? So what's going on right here? Let's watch this. This is Fox News, the 10th, which is, I believe, 3 days ago now. Today's the 13th. Today's the 12th. Okay, so this is 2 days ago. The 5, the ridiculous 5, react to this guy, Kyle Rittenhouse's testimony. So this is complete division where they're saying that this guy, who is basically a school shooter, can take a AR, an assault rifle, right? AR stands for assault rifle, which you use in the military to go out and kill the enemy. He could go into a theater, which they call a riot or protest, whatever you want to call it. If you want to demonize it, you'll call it a riot. If you want to make it okay, you'll call it a protest. So what is it really? Okay, and who was out there killing people? There's only one person out there killing people. A lot of people had guns. He was the only one that was killing people. Okay, so let's watch this. And what we're seeing is we're seeing division. The Most High is bringing division with this. And what is it going to amount to? All right, when they let this kid go, it's going to say that you can go out and kill black lives. Okay? What's on trial here? Black lives are on trial. Is it okay for a kid to take an assault rifle out and kill anyone standing up for black lives? Ain't even no Negroes, no blacks involved in any of this. But here's what's on trial here, so let's watch.
All right, we have been watching the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, and it's been riveting the entire day. You're watching The Five, and great to have everybody here. Judge Janine, Geraldo, Jesse Waters, and Greg Gutfeld. Let's go to the judge and get your take.
Well, I was just checking how long after the two murders and the one assault or attempted murder.
Okay, now we're talking about murder. The whole subject matter is about murder. Now she's about to say that this murderer, all right, because he did murder somebody, he was justified in doing what he did. Now, if this was a Jake, there would be no question. There wouldn't even be a trial. They would pronounce the nigga guilty and put him up under the prison. But right now, what are they doing? Holding themselves not guilty. And what is it going to result in? A bloodbath in the street. They're going to let this guy go and say, it's okay what he did. Now go out there and do it. All right? Listen to what this witch, who calls herself a judge, all right? And the judge in this trial is just, if you watch it, is laughable. But what we see through the Spirit is the Most High setting this bloodbath up and bringing division, all right? So listen.
The charges were filed because this video, the drone, and all of the other information that's been brought together took a while to put together. But this DA charged Rittenhouse within 48 hours. So the DA never really looked into whether or not there was a possibility of self-defense. He just immediately indicted him. And what you're seeing today is a DA who was reacting to the whole scenario of what we were doing in a post-George Floyd world, in an area where Jacob Blake had just been shot.
Wait a minute. How do niggas come into this? This is about white people killing white people. But we're injecting Black Lives Matter. We're injecting George Floyd, Jacob Blake. How do you bring niggas into this? All right? You see what these witches are doing? And ultimately, what the Most High is doing through the Spirit. All right?
You've got a young guy who was a new CPR. He was a police explorer.
He's a good boy for murdering. All right? For taking an assault rifle to what they are trying to call a riot to do what he thought. Where's the police? Where are there are no EMTs, actual EMTs out there? All right? He's not qualified. He shouldn't have been out after curfew. Shouldn't have a gun in his hand. But let's ignore all of that and let's let him go. They hold themselves not guilty.
Was some kind of fireman cadet. He was a good kid. He went there to clean up the graffiti on the buildings. He has exemplified on that witness stand what every defendant should learn to do. And
he was a good kid. Sure, he murdered a couple of people and shouldn't have been out. All right, driving without a license, not supposed to have a firearm, but he is a good kid. You see this hypocrisy?
Is to speak clearly, directly. He stops exactly where he should stop. He doesn't add any further information.
He's more subtle than any beast of the field when he's up there lying. Posted on his Facebook account, whatever it was, a picture of an AR and then a caption saying, "I'm just trying to be famous, bro." He's a school shooter.
Listens exquisitely to the questions, and there isn't even a need on the part of the defense attorney to.
Got his right hand raised. He's about to go into the most subtle and slick lies that he's been trained. He has been being trained by the defense to get up there and that display of crocodile tears without one tear coming down his eye. That was, that's Esau. That's this devil. All right. What is he doing? Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the
object to this prosecutor who is so desperate, so out of control, that he's even got the judge going through the roof in that courtroom. The bottom line here is that this kid has established that when he shot Rosenbaum,
that when he shot this flawless kid who is an outstanding citizen, when he shot and murdered, they're holding themselves not guilty.
the first victim,
The first victim? Oops. He wasn't supposed to say that. Was he a victim? Was it murder? Did he shoot him? Get your words right, witch. All right? Some of us know exactly what you're doing.
in fear for his own life when he shot the second guy, Huber.
He wasn't too afraid to take a rifle to go down there and start shooting people. If he was afraid for his life, why did he pick up a rifle and go over state lines and go start shooting at people? But it's not his fault. He was just, he feared for his life. No. You sound ridiculous. But this is what the Most High. See, you got people on his side who say he has done nothing wrong. Then you have people with sound mind who can see right through this and say, well, the bigger picture here is what the Most High is fomenting, all right?
He was in fear legitimately and reasonably of his own life. And when he shot Grosskreis, the third guy who didn't die, for which he's being charged with attempted murder, he had legitimate grounds for which to use deadly physical force. So now the question is whether or not the prosecutor can prove now, because the burden of proof has shifted, beyond a reasonable doubt that it was not self-defense. He can't do it. He can't.
Well, yesterday, Geraldo, you said that you thought that this trial might not even go to the point where you have the defendant take the witness stand, but he did, and perhaps that might have been the best thing that he could have done for himself.
It was something that I would not have recommended. Putting the defendant on the witness stand is always problematic. It's a toss of the dice. More bad things can happen than good. But this kid has stood his ground. This is a self-defense case. Did he reasonably believe that his life was in danger, and was the force he used to defend himself appropriate? And it just seems to me that the kid is dying. He's a dopey kid with a hero complex.
Oh, let's give him a pass. Let's give him a pass. He did go out and kill a bunch of people, and he got a hero complex and a God complex, and he went out really to go kill some niggas, but he couldn't find none. So anybody shouting Black Lives Matter, standing up for minorities or standing up for what is right, you can't go out and kill a nigga with his hands cuffed behind his back and shoot him in the back. Well, that's what he's there to do. Okay? Couldn't find no nigga, so he killed the next best thing. All right? Somebody standing up for a black.
He shouldn't have been there, shouldn't have had the AR-15 on the street and all the rest of it. But I think he walks. I tell you the truth, I don't.
But I'm going to hold him not guilty. I'll tell you the truth. That's the way we have these laws set up. That's the way the court system is set up. We can let this guy go under color of law, but any nigga that walks outside with a gun or without a gun, we can shoot his ass down and have a party, a picnic after.
I don't see how they touch him on the murder cases, the most serious charges. The other one, what is it? Recklessly endangering. I think there's a reasonable possibility that aside from the possession of the weapon as a minor, I think that Rittenhouse is going to go.
Go ahead, Judge.
Well, first of all, I don't think he's a dopey kid. Just because he is.
Now let me rehabilitate. Everything you said about it was true. You see the division even right there? And they're both agreeing with him. But she has to rehabilitate and put into these devil's mind that, oh no, he's good to go. So what is that going to do when they let this kid go? It's going to bolster the fact that you could go out with your gun, take the law into your own hand. We're not the police there. What did the police do? After he shot and killed about 3 people, what did the police do? They told him to go home. They didn't shoot him up. They didn't cuff him and then shoot him in the back. They told him to go home. He tells the police, I just shot someone. Go home. This whole thing is a joke. But we know what the Most High is doing, all right?
Mr. Cool from New York City doesn't make him a dopey kid. Okay, this kid practiced CPR, trained. He was a police explorer. He was a fire
He's a
cadet.
17-year-old guy.
You know,
He's a
But
murderer.
what-
He's a murderer. He's a calculated murderer. He went down there to go shoot somebody and become famous.
R-15 to a neighboring
You know
state.
what? You don't know what it's like in that part of the country, and maybe you do.
I do. I live there.
You do. You live there. Okay? It's a part of life for them. And you know what the charge is for possession of that weapon? 9 months, because he's under 18.
I think that's
so
the
let's
only one they've got.
That was okay. For him to commit that crime, it was okay. He only get 9 months. We could waive that and let him go home.
Conflate the issues here. That's a
the one
good kid. That is a kind of kid who can grow up and have a moral core.
Just
That's enough. That's enough. That's just crazy. And this is what they're pushing. They're pushing this bigger than OJ right now. It's just crazy. All right, let's get some scripts. Let's start with Psalm 58. Let's find out what's really going on. Let's get the authority's word on it. Psalm 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. No matter how young you are, you come out of the womb, what? They go astray as soon as they be born, doing what? Speaking lies. All right? So what is this kid doing? He's doing what he was born to do. Let's get Genesis. Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. All right? And that's it. That's all you need. Who's the serpent? This guy. He was born lying. And he's on that stand after he raised his hand, and he's lying about his true intent. Because all you got to do is go to his YouTube page and see that I'm going to get famous with this AR. And there he is. Now he's lying about it. And that display of crying, don't let me find a picture of it. This right here. Okay? Which was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. We're not going to show
By
it.
advertising on YouTube,
Slovakia. Let's see if they're going to show it. They're not going to show it. They know it was ridiculous.
You may be seated.
Can I ask you to stand, please, and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. You may be seated.
See, throughout this whole thing, they're not showing him crying.
Right side. And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski. And there were people right there.
No tears.
That's what I. That's what I wrote.
No tears.
Time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break about 10 minutes, and please don't talk about the case during the break.
Okay, there you go. Come on now. Now, what did the scripture say? Now, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. Right? And this is all we need. The point has been made. The wicked are estranged from the womb. Did you see his mom there? They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. All right? That's all we need. All right? Let's get 64. Salakia. This is Psalm 64 and 8. But the Most High shall shoot at them, 68 and 7. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Okay? Hey, we see you. Look at this. We see exactly what you're up to. Anybody can see through this. Look at this. Oh, it was self-defense. All right, nah. Let's get 2 Corinthians, we'll close out. Second Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan, the serpent, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay? We see right through you. Where your tears at, devil?
Right, wrong.
Where your tears at, devil? And you didn't do this for the rest of the trial. It should have been, if you can do this, right, how then can you not ever do it again?
We're going to just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir.
That's a ridiculous display of devilishness. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified. With that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.